Nggak boleh dipegang.
Step right on in, folks.
So go ahead and please keep filling in the space so we can get everyone in and get that door closed.
Okay. This one is really cool.
After she talked, she said,
Hah?
cuma sampai sini doang, udah habis.
Sure, maybe.
Kita paling belakang aja deh, jadi nggak ganggu orang kalau.
Let's go. Tapi kita mau ke sini ntar. Kita mau jelasin minumannya.
Alright, so a quick tour and then like I said, I'll set you free for all your pictures and everything. So you'll have time to go back and look at stuff I'm talking about, but right when you walk in on your left is our workshop area, and we have two ice carvers here who work full-time for us. Their names are Steve and Heather Bryce, and they're a married couple who met doing ice carving, and between the two of them they hold 23 world championships. Yeah, pretty good, right? And Steve is also considered one of the handful of ice masters in the whole world. So we really do have an amazing team, and we're very lucky to have them up here. And Steve is also a pioneer in the field. He designs a lot of tools that ice carvers use all over the world, some of which you can see back in the workshop area when you go back and look. He designed and built both the vertical lathes that are back there, and on those lathes they hand carve every single Appletini glass. So no molds are used, and that means that the glasses are unique, like snowflakes and people. And then on your right when you walked in are big blocks of ice. So those are all harvested from our beaver pond, which is half a mile away on our nature trail, and that's actually the pond where you can go canoeing and fishing this time of year. And they just do the harvesting during March, and that's what they use for their pieces for the whole year. So you might notice pond debris in pieces throughout the museum, and that's just because the ice does come from pond water. Now we did notice that we're missing a beaver, so if you happen to see him in here, point and shout, would you? Thanks for getting the joke, those of you who did. All right. So one other thing I want to point out front, which you can look at afterwards, is my very favorite piece. And there are a bunch of snow globes sitting above the workshop area out there. And from the aisle, it just looks like a little squiggle, my favorite one. It's the second from the right. But if you zoom in on your camera, you'll see that it's actually a little winter cabin scene with the aurora above it. So it's really pretty. So if you can zoom in on your camera, I recommend you do so. So you all walked under our Great Wall of Chena. First on your left when you came under the Great Wall is our Chinese warrior. He no longer has his sword though, so I just say he's doing Tai Chi. Second on the left is our Venus de Chena, and she's the piece that guys get a little bit frisky with in here. So unfortunately she gets her arms knocked off a lot. So she is currently missing an arm due to someone leaning against her for a picture, but they will be replacing her soon with a lady with her arms above her head in hopes that her arms will get knocked off less often. Back up there we have our fireplace sitting area, so after the tour you're welcome to go up there and sit around the fireplace. Just don't expect to get warm. Behind me here is the bar for all the Appletini drinkers, and I'll be your bartender, so I expect to hear nothing but good things about the drinks. Behind all of you here is our jousting knife piece. So this piece is a copy. The original was made for the 1996 Fairbanks World Championship. It was twice the size of this piece, and they took second place for it that year. But they liked the piece so much, they wanted to incorporate it in the museum. So in 2005, they made this smaller version. This took them about 300 hours to make, and they've done about 400 more hours of restoration work on it since then. So about 700 hours and 8 years for just this one piece. We deal with sublimation in here, which is the ice going to a gas state. So their main job in here is actually the renovation of the pieces, the upkeep, keeping them looking nice. So you will notice some lines throughout the piece where they've chopped parts off to fuse new pieces on. The best example is the purple horse head there. You can see the line where they chopped the head off. They did not find a Godfather style in a bed, however. The original horse head is out front. There's a horse head, a peacock, and then there's a shrunken, creepy-looking horse head behind those two pieces. So you can see how much the head sublimated over the years. And if you look up at the top of the Great Wall of Chena up there, you can also see how much sublimation has occurred over the years. So it's just like leaving ice cubes in your freezer too long. It's the same effect. So due to the fact that they spend the majority of their time doing Appletini glasses and the restoration of the museum, they only get to a new bigger piece about every year to year and a half. So the biggest new piece in here is this leopard between these two gargoyles here. And when you take a flash photo of the leopard straight on, its eyes glow. So don't miss out on that picture. Behind me here is where Steve's newest piece will be going, and he's going to be making a life-size Harley Davidson. Yes, so that will be cool. Back over there is our wedding chapel. Steve and Heather, our ice carvers, were married here themselves to each other, obviously. And just in the last year, we had about 30 weddings. Brides do like to wear traditional gowns, so you can imagine that the ceremonies are a little bit shorter than most, and that people are more apt to get cold feet. So all the snow globes that are around the wedding chapel here are brand new. They were just made in the last few weeks. Like I said, the originals are up on the workshop area out there. But if you notice off to the left, there's a rose in one of the globes, and then as you move further along, there's some other neat designs. So definitely have a peek. It was kind of interesting. Last week on a tour, a lady asked me what the rose one was. She said, "Oh, I thought it looked like a rat." I was like, "Why would they put a rat in a snow globe? That's just terrible." So over here we have our Coca-Cola bear. And then we have our ice igloo, and inside the ice igloo is an ice xylophone with some mallets, so you're welcome to go in there and play some tunes. And if anyone's brave enough to sing, it does have nice acoustics in there, so grab a friend and entertain us all. And then don't head back there quite yet, but in the back we have 4 hotel rooms, and on the rare occasion people do actually spend the night. We have a Christmas room, polar bear room, rose room, and the back left is our throne room, and we call it the throne room because it has an outhouse toilet in it. So you're welcome to sit on it, take pictures, make funny faces, and please don't leave us presents. The beds have carpet on them, so you're welcome to hop on those for pictures as well. And then when people do spend the night, we lay down caribou hides, our sleeping bags, comforters, try to keep them warm. Because it is an ice museum and there's no bathroom in here, we do a backup room for them in our moose lodge, so they can travel over in the night if they need to. Back up in the back there, we have our ice queen, and then all along the ceiling here, we have our 4 ice chandeliers. Each of those has 70 hand-carved ice crystals, and then they're lit with fiber optics to change colors every couple seconds to simulate the northern lights. So even though it's a little too bright out this time of year to see them, just take some pictures in here, show them to your friends, tell them it's the lights. They won't know the difference. Okay, that's a lie. So one last funny fact before I set you free, and this is a true story. They wanted to call the Ice Museum an ice hotel, but the fire marshal said no because we don't have sprinklers. We all know how flammable ice is, right? Anyway, that is why this is the Ice Museum. And with that, I'll let you all go free. If you're doing an Appletini, please do come see me at the bar shortly. If you decide you do want to do an Appletini, there's $15, $10 for a refill, cash only, no change.
Sure.
You wanna do it now?
Later.
Later.
Ay, nako eh.